some truths hide until someone dares to see them. This is VeilX TV. What if you could control your phone with just your thoughts? What if you never needed a password again because your body was the password? What if a tiny chip inside you could detect cancer before you even feel sick? This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now. Around the world, real people are voluntarily putting technology inside their bodies. Some are doing it to cure diseases, some are doing it to become superhuman, and some are doing it just because they can. Today, we're going to explore the wild, fascinating, and slightly terrifying world of human tech implants. Where did this idea come from? What's already inside people's bodies? Who's behind it? And most importantly, should you be scared, excited, or both? By the end of this video, you'll never look at the human body the same way again. Chapter 1. What even is a tech implant? Let's start simple. A tech implant is any device that is placed inside a human body to do something useful, using technology. Now, some implants have been around for decades. Pacemakers, tiny devices that regulate your heartbeat, have been saving lives since the 1950s. Cochlear implants help deaf people hear. These are medical miracles that most people accept without question. But what's happening now is different. We've entered a new era where implants aren't just fixing broken bodies, they're upgrading healthy ones. We're talking about chips that store your medical data, magnets sewn under your fingertips so you can feel electromagnetic fields, brain-computer interfaces that let paralyzed people type with their mind, devices that monitor your blood sugar in real time without a single finger prick. The line between human and machine is blurring, and it's happening faster than most people realize. Chapter 2. The Biohackers, people who started this movement. Before the big companies got involved, there was a scrappy, rebellious group of people called biohackers. Biohackers are people who experiment on their own bodies, outside of hospitals, outside of official science, in garages and basements and underground clinics. Think of them like the punk rockers of the tech world. They didn't wait for permission. One of the most famous early biohackers is a man named Kevin Warwick, a British scientist who in 1998 implanted a chip in his arm that could communicate with his university's computer systems. He could open doors, turn on lights, and be tracked around the building, all without touching anything. He called himself the world's first cyborg. Then there's the Grinders, a global community of biohackers who share instructions online for DIY implants. Members have implanted magnets in their fingertips to feel magnetic fields around power cables. Others have put LED lights under their skin, just for fun. Some have implanted near-field communication chips, NFC, the same technology in your phone that lets you tap to pay, except it's inside their hand. These people were the pioneers. Weird maybe, brave absolutely. They proved that the body could accept foreign technology, and that people wanted this. Chapter 3. The companies jumping in. Once biohackers proved it was possible, the big players came running. Neuralink, Elon Musk's brain chip company. The most famous name in this space is Neuralink, founded by Elon Musk in 2016. Their goal? Put a computer chip directly into the human brain. The device, called the N1, is about the size of a large coin. A surgical robot drills tiny holes in your skull and threads 1024 ultra-thin electrodes into your brain tissue. These electrodes read electrical signals from your neurons, basically eavesdropping on your thoughts, and transmit them wirelessly to a computer. In January 2024, the first human received a Neuralink implant, a man named Nolan Arbaugh, who was paralyzed from the shoulders down after a diving accident. Within weeks, he was playing chess and video games, controlling a cursor on screen, using only his mind. He said it was the most natural thing he'd ever experienced. Musk's long-term vision. Allow humans to merge with AI, so we don't get left behind as artificial intelligence grows smarter. Synchron. Neuralink isn't the only brain-computer interface company. Synchron takes a less invasive approach. Their device is inserted through a blood vessel in the neck, threading into the brain without open surgery. Multiple patients have already used it to send texts and emails using their thoughts. Microchip implants for everyday life. Swedish company Biohackers has implanted tiny NFC chips, about the size of a grain of rice, into thousands of people across Sweden. Swedes use them to access their offices, store train tickets, share contact details, and even pay for things. Over 6,000 Swedes had these chips by the early 2020s. Some Swedish workplaces offered them to employees voluntarily. Continuous health monitors. Companies like Levels and Abbott have made implantable glucose monitors, tiny sensors inserted just under the skin of your arm that constantly track your blood sugar. Athletes and health-conscious people use them to optimize their diet in real time. No needles, no finger pricks, just live data on your phone. The corporate world has officially entered the body. Chapter 4. The Medical Miracles. Let's take a moment to appreciate just how incredible some of these medical implants are, because this stuff sounds like magic. Paralysis reversed. In 2023, a team of Swiss scientists gave a paralyzed man the ability to walk again using implants. They placed electrodes along his spine that sent electrical signals to his leg muscles, bypassing the damaged part of his spinal cord. He could walk, climb stairs, and even swim. He said, "I can now go hiking with my family." Blindness partially restored. Scientists have developed retinal implants, tiny devices fitted to the back of the eye that can give partial vision to blind people. It's not perfect vision, but it lets people see shapes, light, and movement who otherwise lived in complete darkness. Hearing without ears. Bone-anchored hearing aids are implanted directly into the skull, transmitting sound vibrations straight to the inner ear, bypassing damaged outer ear structures entirely. People born deaf or who lost hearing due to illness have had their lives transformed. Memory chips. This one sounds impossible, but it's real. Researchers at the University of Southern California have developed a brain implant that can actually improve human memory. In tests, people with the implant showed up to 35% improvement in their ability to recall information. The chip essentially gives the brain a shortcut when memory processes are struggling. Fighting depression and mental illness. Deep brain stimulation, DBS implants are already being used to treat severe depression, Parkinson's disease, and OCD. Electrodes are placed deep inside specific areas of the brain and deliver tiny, regular electrical pulses, essentially resetting abnormal brain activity. For people who haven't responded to any medication, this has been life-changing. This is the extraordinary promise of implant technology, not science fiction. Real lives being transformed. Chapter 5. The upgrades. Beyond medicine, so that's medicine. But what about people who are perfectly healthy and still want to upgrade? This is where it gets really interesting and controversial. Magnetic senses. Several hundred people worldwide have implanted small neodymium magnets under the skin of their fingertips. The result? They can feel electromagnetic fields, from power cables, running motors, speakers, even microwaves. It's a completely new sense that humans have never had before. Some describe it as a tingling, a buzzing, or a pulling, a sixth sense that lets them perceive the invisible electromagnetic world around them. RFID and NFC, your body as a key. Thousands of people have put RFID or NFC chips in their hands. They use them to unlock their front door, start their car, log into their computer, store emergency medical data, or replace a gym membership card. Your hand literally becomes your wallet, your key, and your ID all in one. Night vision. In 2015, a group of biohackers successfully gave a man temporary night vision by dripping a chemical called chlorin E6, found naturally in deep-sea fish, into his eyes. He could see clearly in the dark for several weeks. While this isn't an implant exactly, it shows the direction people are pushing, towards sensory abilities beyond normal human limits. Subdermal LEDs and art. Some people have gone even further, implanting LED lights and moving shapes under their skin purely for artistic expression. Their body becomes a living canvas, glowing patterns visible through the skin. It sounds extreme, but so did tattoos once. Smart exoskeletons, plus neural control. Combine brain implants with robotic exoskeletons, wearable mechanical suits, and paralyzed people can walk, climb, and even shake hands with full grip strength. The brain sends signals, the implant reads them, the exoskeleton moves. Human willpower, amplified by machine. We are not just fixing the human body anymore. We are expanding what it can do. Chapter 6. The dark side, risks and dangers. Okay, let's slow down, because not everything about this is exciting. There's a very real dark side too. Health risks. Any foreign object in the body carries risks. Infection, rejection, nerve damage, battery failure, overheating. Brain implants carry the highest risk. Your brain is not something you can afford to get wrong. Neuralink's early animal trials reportedly resulted in the deaths of monkeys due to implant complications. Their first human patient, Noland Arbaugh, experienced some electrode threads retracting from his brain tissue, reducing the device's effectiveness. Hacking your body. This one is terrifying. If your implant is wireless, and most are, it can potentially be hacked. Security researchers have already demonstrated that some pacemakers and insulin pumps can be remotely accessed by hackers. Now imagine someone hacking your brain chip, or your locked front door because they cloned the NFC chip in your hand. Your body becomes a cybersecurity vulnerability. Privacy. If a chip tracks your location, your health data, your activity, who owns that data? The company that made the chip? Your employer if they gave it to you? The government? This is not hypothetical. Amazon already trialed wristbands that tracked warehouse workers' hand movements. Some companies in the US and Europe have offered chip implants to employees, raising serious questions about coercion. Are you really free to say no if your boss is offering it? The inequality problem. If implants make people smarter, healthier, and more capable, but they cost tens of thousands of dollars, only the rich get those advantages. We could end up in a world where wealthy people are literally biologically superior to poor people. Not through talent or hard work, through money. Who controls your brain? If a company like Neuralink can send signals into your brain, not just read them, who's to say those signals are always in your best interest? Could a government compel a company to push certain thoughts? Could advertisers? This sounds like conspiracy territory. But these are questions serious ethicists are asking right now. The body is the most personal thing you have. Once you start putting corporate technology inside it, the questions of ownership and control become very complicated. Chapter 7. What laws and governments say. So what are the rules? Honestly, the rules are struggling to keep up. In most countries, medical implants like pacemakers and cochlear implants are heavily regulated. They require years of clinical trials and government approval before going into humans. The FDA in America and the EMA in Europe oversee this carefully. But biohacking and DIY implants? Largely a legal gray area. There's no law in most countries specifically stopping you from implanting a chip in your own hand, as long as you're not practicing medicine on someone else without a license. The EU has started debating regulations around neural interfaces, worried about what they call cognitive liberty, your right to keep your thoughts private and free from technological influence. In Sweden, some politicians have called for clearer rules around workplace chip implants, concerned about employee rights. The UN has flagged neurotechnology as one of the emerging areas requiring urgent international ethical guidelines. The technology is moving faster than the law. This is almost always dangerous. So where is all of this going? Scientists and futurists paint a picture of the next 20-30 years that is almost unrecognizable from today. 2030s mainstream health implants. Implantable health monitors become as common as smartwatches. They track everything: blood pressure, glucose, cancer markers, hormone levels, in real time, sending data to your doctor automatically. Disease gets caught earlier. Millions of lives saved. 2030s, 2040s, brain-computer interfaces. Go wider. BCI devices become less invasive, maybe just worn on the head, no surgery needed. People use them to control smart home devices, type faster, interact with virtual reality purely through thought. Disabled people are the first mainstream adopters, but able-bodied people follow. 2040s, memory and cognitive enhancement. Memory chips become refined enough to genuinely enhance human recall and learning speed. Students debate whether using one is cheating. Companies start requiring cognitive aptitude tests that specifically measure unaugmented intelligence. 2040s, 2050s, the merge. Elon Musk's vision of humans merging with AI starts to look less crazy. People with advanced neural implants can access the internet with their thoughts, communicate telepathically through devices, and process information at speeds no unaugmented human can match. The transhumanist future. A movement called transhumanism, the belief that humanity should use technology to go beyond its biological limits, goes from fringe to mainstream. The debate is no longer, should we do this? But how do we do this fairly? This is the future being built right now, in labs, garages, and operating theaters around the world. What this means for your generation. Here's the truth. You, yes, you watching this, are the generation that will have to decide what humanity does with this technology. Will implants be tools of liberation, freeing the paralyzed, curing the sick, unlocking human potential? Or will they become tools of control, monitored by corporations, hacked by criminals, accessible only to the wealthy? The answer isn't decided yet. It depends on the laws we pass, the companies we hold accountable, the conversations we have, and the values we decide to protect. The human body has always been the most sacred thing we have. It's where you live, it's who you are. Technology can make it better, but only if we're thoughtful, careful, and, most importantly, paying attention. So keep asking questions, keep thinking critically, because the future is being written right now, and it's going to be written in flesh and silicon. Thank you for watching.